What's going on, YouTube? Back at it with another video. Look, we got animals on a rampage, man. But this time, it's talking about the aliens in the ocean. If y'all don't know who this dude is, I'll fuck with him. We gonna be watching a lot of his movies. Not his movies, a lot of his videos, because he got good videos, bro. The nigga, here, let me show y'all who it is if you can't see who that is. Found this nigga on TikTok, but somebody had sent me a video of him, I want to say a couple months ago or a month ago, and I just been like, I fuck with this nigga YouTube. His YouTube videos be actually entertaining. But yeah, man, before we get in this video, man, need y'all to like, comment, subscribe, man, turn in post notifications on, sit back and relax. Fire one of them. Oh, what is that? Was that a, what? Tootsie Roll? It's a different type of Tootsie Roll. One you put a flame to. Bow your heads. Let's say a quick prayer. We're going to start this video. Dear Lord, I want to come to you to pray for everybody that's watching this video. I ask that you bless everybody with anything that they deserve or any blessing that they've been praying for, that you look out for them and you keep us all going. In your name I pray. Amen. Ashe. Already, y'all. Like, comment, subscribe, man. Drop a comment. Let me know you in here with your boy, man. You know, I done got on live, my Kick Live. I done talked to my people, but I ain't really seen a lot of y'all on the YouTube since I've been back. And I be reading them comments. I might not reply, but I read them motherfuckers. But yeah, man, let's get into this video.
You know, Satan was onto something. Just not sobriety. When he let his sketchbook get uploaded into the ocean. From a breaststroking body snatcher to a semi-sentient sarlacc pit. The greatest trick the government ever pulled was stacking billions on billions of dollars expanding into space before reconciling with the ET-ish already
Digging
in our
his own
face.
booty
The
hole
Sea
is
Star
crazy.
and his freak show of a family is a gross-out body horror film unfolding at the expense of all who perceive it. The starfish family of echinoderm has 5 classes with about 7...
Echinoderm. To see your chin. So that's your chin. That's your cucumber, your dingling booty hole. Starfish, everybody knows starfish, Patrick. Feather star, that bitch weave. Brittle star, the other bitches weave.
7,600 species across those classes, each as viscerally disturbing and beautifully unnerving as the next. But starfish are so freaked out for Earth, their scientific name is Asteroidean. And if a report comes out that aliens have been stowed away in the seas this entire time, the #1 suspect would be Lucifer's loofah. The first red flag is starfish ignored the concept of blood. Instead, they got an open seawater circulation system that actually makes a lot of sense when you realize how they move. It starts with the madreporite, a plate that's like the front door of its system that's almost intentionally off-center to remind you that symmetry is an earthly concept. Water moves in through the madreporite through canals until they eventually reach the tube feet, which is how this Lovecraftian fidget spinner goes mobile. Because when the valve
crazy
closes,
though, like how they got fingerprints like we do too. Like this little
that
ass
symmetry
thing,
is an earthly concept. Water moves in.
that's a whole fucking fingerprint, right? Damn near, basically. Like, ain't that fucking... Oh shit, my shit turned off like a hoe, my fault. Ain't that fucking crazy, like, how you can look at your finger and nigga, they can be like, okay, yeah, that's Trayvon Lawler. Like, damn, just off the design, we all got a set design for our costume, nigga. Cause you know, all this shit is a costume, nigga. We really a soul. We just a soul in a costume, but we all got a set design. But when we go on stage to learn, ain't that crazy? Like a motherfucker get that fingerprint, nigga, they know that's you. They don't even need your blood.
Through the madreporite through canals until they eventually reach the tube feet, which is how this Lovecraftian fidget spinner goes mobile. Because when the valve closes and the eye drop coated ampulla contract, it shoots water into the tube feet and forces them to extend. And when the extended tube foot hits a hard surface, the center retracts, forming a seal that only breaks when it's time to move on and stick to something else. Thousands of tube feet doing this dance is how a sea star can move faster than a facehugger ever should. Maybe that wouldn't be as disturbing if sea stars couldn't also see. Starfish have eyes. It's just that if he were real, he'd be standing on them. We've known that starfish have eyes at the end of their arms for 200 years. The question is, what is sight to an animal?
I didn't know that.
Brain? Likely something beyond our comprehension. Kind of like the time someone told me blind people don't just see black, they just see nothing. I went nonverbal for 5 minutes fumbling with the concept.
And you know what? I know exactly what that is. Because I got this, like, section in my eyesight where I can't see at this one point of my peripheral. But it's not black, but it's just nothing. The best way to explain it is like, take a picture of something, edit it, and put the blur all the way as high as you can to where it's like, damn, you can't see no colors, no nothing. It's just 100% blurry. Like, it's just a big ass blur spot, but it's not black, but it's not a color. It's just not there. Yeah. That's the best way I can explain it. Like a big ass, the blurriest you can think of. That's what it looked like. It don't look like this.
It's believed that sea stars don't see the world like you and me. Instead, they see the world in lights, darks, and shadows. One experiment tested this by going to a reef in Japan and pretty much circumcising their eyes with scissors. After that, they took the eyeless sea stars and those that didn't get theirs lopped off and placed them away from their reef home base. The result was the uncut starfish immediately booked it to the reef, while the eyeless ones were left Stevie wondering about the next move. It was also found that even starfish living where sunlight isn't a concept can see, and out of the 13 species pulled out of the deep sea, all but one of them had eyes.
I ain't gonna lie, nigga, I hate to be a motherfucking starfish. Like, that's what you do all day. Lay your ass there, walk on your tentacles, and then lay somewhere else. Like, God damn, can't even swim in this bitch. Like, imagine being in the ocean, you can't swim. Like, you physically incapable of swimming. Man, I hate this shit. I should have been on the land if I was just gonna be crawling.
Concept can see, and out of the 13 species pulled out of the deep sea, all but one of them had eyes, including Novadinia americana, which has giant pupils and arguably the best vision of this predatory polygon. And like Mardi Gras, they would flash whenever excited, except instead of flesh, they'd flash.
That motherfucker look like some crab legs out the shell, ready to eat. That looked like the best fucking crab leg you ever got in your life, pre-cracked. Like, this motherfucker ain't got no shell on it, nigga. It's all meat. The government figure out how to do that and make not like imitation crab, real deal crab, and we can get the whole thing, no shell. It's served like this, just butter all on it. Nigga, they gonna fuck the city up with that shit. We gonna fuck the game up with that. We gotta figure this out too. We have to figure this one out. Imagine going to get a seafood boil on your crab and just laying out like that, but cooked. Butter all on it. You ain't gotta crack nothing, none of that, nigga. Give me another bowl, another bag, please. Because I'm going to tear that shit up.
In fact, some deep sea stars are bioluminescent.
A lot of the hunger go away because you're doing all that movement.
Impulses can communicate through that light. Now let's talk about that lack of a brain, because that honestly makes everything Satan Squishmallow does creepier. Instead of a brain, the sea star has a tangled ring of neurons that link signals coming from the arms. But the thing with starfish being brainless is, there is no grand central station for signals. Everything's localized, and signals can start from anywhere. Once one arm decides to move, in that moment it becomes the dominant arm, with all the other ones following its lead. Speaking of arms, they don't always stop at 5. The Antarctic sunfish can have up to 50. It's a democratic hive mind that transcends past the need for thought. Sea stars are like aliens that have been hiding in our faces for 500 million years, and the only thing we have in common is as deuterostomes, both starfish and people start life the same way they live mostly.
The thing is, they ain't even been hiding, they just do what they do. Like walk on the ground, the ocean floor. We don't do that. We go in that bitch, swim, look around. We ain't just walking on the ocean floor like that. That's why. Neither one of us been hiding. Nigga, we got a whole cartoon. He's famous as fuck. Everybody in this picture video been famous as hell in America, and they don't even know it. You know how many Patricks we just seen? And his parents? Like, they don't even know it.
As an asshole. And there's no time a starfish identifies more than when it eats, because the way they feed was straight up ripped out of a scene from Meat Canyon. The best way to describe how horrific nature made this bottom feeder is to describe what it's like to be hunted by one. Imagine minding your business when an almost animatronic manifestation of greed pulls up on you and slaps an arm on your face, before then using hundreds of suction cup tube feet to pull your jaws apart and force your mouth open. And not only are starfish way stronger than they should be, your jaw would get tired before he does, and the moment your muscles give and allow half a millimeter of an opening, the starfish would then casually eject its stomach out of its mouth and shove it down your throat, just to release enzymes to cook you alive and basically digest you from the inside. You'd probably scream if you didn't already get your lower jaw dissolved. The last thing you'd see is the external stomach blanketing you in a corrosive embrace before dragging you back to its gaping maw with the now half-digested concept of you. The sea star is the apex predator of a Stephen King wet dream that'll eat mollusks like mussels and clams. And like I said, that involves using brute force to force the two halves of the shell.
Little. Because we know they stomach come out their mouth and suck you in. They don't even chew you enough. You just sit in the stomach till you dissolve. What the fuck? Keep his ass at the bottom of the ocean. We don't need no shit like that up here. Hell no, nigga. We got kids and shit running around. Stay away from that starfish. He's gonna pull his belly out and eat you. No, he's not, Mom. Oh my God, his belly's coming out. Yeah, that's crazy as fuck. How do you tell somebody about that? He ate by starfish. What the hell? You didn't try to throw it off you? Damn.
Until the muscles give out, which might just make it the worst persistence hunter, cause imagine playing tug of war with an animal with no working concept of tired, and where giving up just a 1/10 of a millimeter can get your insides turned into soup. And we're talking about a predator that'll spend
that
not just
shit,
hours,
like, moving.
but days pulling a clam apart.
Nigga, that was a real clam. What the hell? I gotta see this shit in real life. I only seen this shit on SpongeBob for real. So I didn't believe they really do that. That was this nigga's car. And it really moved like that. What the fuck?
And we're talking about a predator that'll spend
that
not just
motherfucker
hours,
is opening
but
and
days
closing.
pulling a clam apart. They'll also eat sponges like they're coral cotton candy, and I don't think the implication even needs to be explained. In fact, Patrick would have murked SpongeBob, his family, the kid they raised. I don't know if Buddy got a name, but he would have got packed up too. Their only chance would be Gary using family ties to try and put a hit on him, with the giant Pacific Triton being one of the few animals able to prey on the crown of thorns starfish. But starfish will prey on anything that ain't nailed down, and as part-time scavengers, they'll also remove the dead like a garbage disposing Jabba the Hutt. A mother octopus's prize for loving her kids almost to death is a starfish.
That nigga got Squidward too. We just seen SpongeBob, we seen the clam shit. We just seen what was SpongeBob cat name? That motherfucker, he can't kill him. And this nigga's eating Squidward. Damn. SpongeBob was really a scary movie.
Dragging her off to a certain one. Starfish are also common predators to other starfish, as this one is now finding out at the arms of a sun star. They're different species, so technically not cannibalism. Some owls eat other owls, and some cats cook other cats. So a sea star dissolving another star isn't cannibalism, unless they're the same species. Which they also do, by the way. Two researchers wanted to find out just what would happen if a bunch of baby sea stars were introduced to a possibly predatory crab. They never would, because the sea stars started eating each other before the crab even got involved.
Damn.
Imagine the Joker pulling up to find the hospital already got leveled by a receptionist. There's a good chance this friendly fire is how a starfish can even the odds when they're just one of millions of eggs that get spawned. Because an animal
They
with
be
no
like, fuck, we finna die. And just start biting each other? What the fuck? It's the only way. This is how we live under our God. Hell no. I'm gonna take my chances with that nigga over there. Maybe I'll make it. I'm not finna just eat you right now. You're not finna eat me either.
Conscious is physically incapable of finding a to give, which is why the Australian government had to go to war against them. It'll never not be Australia. The crown of thorns starfish is an unhinged pincushion that has been eating the literal life out of reefs. The Great Barrier Reef is one of the most biodiverse spots on the planet, and in the last 30 years, 42% of its coral has disappeared because of the Devil's Tiara. The response was over 250,000 thorn demons were perp walked off the census, with them getting one shot of vinegar. Apparently, vinegar has a 100% kill rate against a starfish, and just one injection causes them to fall apart. It means one shot of vinegar can do what used to take multiple injections, and can speedrun their downfall, with trained divers erasing as many as 1,000 living thorns in just one 40-minute dive, which you could be fooled into feeling bad for if the crown of thorns wasn't also a threat to people. Starfish contain saponins, a detergent-y type of chemical that foams if you shake it in a bucket. If a starfish's spines enter your body, a mess of saponin does too, and can cause not only extreme pain, bleeding, and swelling. They can destroy blood cells.
Damn, that nigga got stabbed by a starfish.
Saponin does too, and can cause
that shit look worse than a needle. And now you gotta worry about sharks getting on your motherfucking ass. They smell that blood, boy. And they got a little sap in it. Yeah, they finna come tear your ass up. You better get out that water. You bleeding.
not only extreme pain, bleeding, and swelling, they can destroy blood cells and cause crippling liver damage. The chances you get subtracted by a sea star are low, but mama would have raised a liar if I said 0. In 2014, a woman was struck by a crown of thorns and died 13 hours later of anaphylactic shock. A death where her throat closed in and suffocated her, her liver looked like 6 rounds of alcoholism, and a hemorrhage led to blood leaking into her lung air sacs. So yeah, the crown of thorns is like an ocean lanternfly. Their potential is worthy of the same treatment. Well, maybe not, because we've microdosed the world without starfish. It's not good. One of the all-time creepiest diseases has been massacring the starfish population so bad that even other animals are catching strays. Sea star wasting disease starts with a starfish seemingly starving itself and managing to seem even more lethargic than usual. That's when the white lesions start forming all over the starfish, followed by the tissues melting around the lesion. At this point, the star's water vascular system fails as the victim deflates. The starfish Fish becomes immobilized as its vessel deteriorates and arms fall off, except this time, there is no growing back. The end game is a starfish now reduced to a pile of white mushy goo. Wasting disease affects over 20 species of sea star, with a body count in the billions. The first recorded plague was on the East Coast in 1972, then again in 1978.
That's a whole graveyard of them bitches. Hella starfish dead.
2013, the blight abolished over 5 billion, and in some parts of British Columbia, you couldn't even see the seabed because it was too littered with formerly star-shaped corpses. The disease has ravaged sea stars from Baja California all the way to the Gulf of Alaska, and some, like the sunflower sea star, have had their numbers cut down by 90%.
And that just show you that if these was alive and this water was still here, you just step in, nigga, you stepping on 100 of them bitches, nigga, you die. You gonna be sapped the fuck up. Yeah, you gonna be sea-sapped. Needles all in your ass.
To the Gulf of Alaska, and some, like the sunflower sea star, have had their numbers cut down by 90%. And with all these sea stars missing, the sea urchins they normally eat run wild and absolutely decimate the kelp forest many need to live. For a while, folks suspected this kill switch was flipped by a virus, but after 4 years of research, the truth was revealed. Turns out, it's actually a bacteria, Vibrio pectinacida, that's causing starfish to spontaneously dissolve. I call them zombies. Zombie starfish was already a concept straight out of the pages of Satan's favorite author, because he made that one too. And they're not even the zombies that give you the respect of moving at quarter speed, because brittle stars are the fastest echinoderms, and if you have arachnophobia, I'm about to lose your—
See, that right there, I wouldn't look at that and be like, oh, look, a starfish. I'm be like, what the fuck is that? Hell no. I'm gonna get the hell out that water, nigga. That's an alien, nigga. That ain't no starfish. Man, that ain't something you see and you just know what the fuck that is. That's something you see and you get the hell on.
Business. Brittle stars move like sea spider imitations that, again, aren't that fast but are entirely too fast for an animal looking like that. Their swimming's a lot prettier though, even if it is the opposite of efficient in how I swim in my dreams. To be fair, dreams are the only place I can't swim, but I'm working on it. Like the sea star, they're a mess of tangled nerve cords spilling into the arms. But unlike the sea star, brittle stars don't have eyes. Instead, the CSTD sees with its skin. Extraocular vision means brittle bandits use proteins in the skin called opsins to sense light. Pretty much, the light hits the proteins, which sends a response to the brittle star to make it move out of the light, meaning its entire body is technically an eye, which is why it's a star that also fears the sun, since brittle stars spend most of the day hiding under rocks and crevices.
Nigga, I'm gonna shine a flashlight on this stupid ass. As soon as you try to crawl at me, I'm shining a flashlight. Yeah, nigga. Click that motherfucker. Make it real bright. Nigga, I'm gonna try to look like the sun in that motherfucker. And I got a yellow shirt on, nigga. Fuck, that nigga try to crawl at me, I'm gonna look like the sun on his ass. He gonna float the fuck away. Stupid ass.
Any light sends them scrambling out of the spotlight like roaches. Some aquariums even train brittle stars to associate the lights dimming with food, and so they would all just crawl out of the woodwork whenever someone would lower the lights. Not bad for an animal that's brainless and has to poop out of its mouth. A mouth that has 5 jaws, by the way. Which is the last thing you'd see if you got murked by one, because any prey caught in those spines would get crushed to death before being digested. Even something like a squid can get got if it dicks around in the hit range of a bunch of brittles, and considering what we know about squid, I don't think you could dream up a worse way to become a wuzz. Brittle stars also catch bodies passively through suspension hunting, but the most cursed version of an already cursed animal is a suborder of brittle stars called Urylina, aka basket stars. I don't even know what nature thought it was doing with this fractal.
Like seaweed.
Basket stars only have 5 arms. It's just that they proceed to branch off into straight nonsense. Arms lined with hooks and spines, and when they catch something alive, it'll wrap its arms together and form a basket around its prey. After which, the semi-sentient spiderweb uses tube feet to work the creature entombed in mucus and spines towards its sarlacc pit of a mouth. It's basically getting eaten alive by a bush. A bush that can move, mind you. The giant basket star will hide in
Yeah, that's some Harry Potter shit. You walk in the woods, nigga, and a tree start hugging your ass. And you like, what the fuck? And out of nowhere, nigga, they start swallowing your ass. You like, hold on. I'm getting swallowed by wood right now. Grannies, this shit real. Nigga, this magic out here. Alien shit.
Crevices during the day, only to climb on top of coral to hunt at night. Also, they get pretty big. Gorgoncephalus is named after Medusa's headshot, and they can have arms as long as 2.5 feet. Just a nightmare of an animal related to a starfish, but as cursed as a cancerous group can be, the feather star is equally as ethereal. This biblically accurate angel is a crinoid.
I ain't gonna lie, that shit beautiful though. I'd be scared, I'd get the hell out the way, but I'd be like looking like, what the fuck? That's crazy, this motherfucker. Hell shit. Nigga, I'll take a picture of that. That shit look cool, but scary.
There's two classes of crinoids, the marine tickle monster right here, and the sea lily. The difference is, feather stars seem to have unlocked free will, while sea lilies settle down and plant themselves in one spot via a stalk. But let it be known, sea lilies can always drag themselves away when they're motivated enough, and if you're enough to make a sea lily want to walk away, consider that an insult of the highest order. It really is a living fossil, with crinoids being around for about 500 million years, so basically the granddaddy of all the nonsense in the ocean. So it makes sense that they also have some of the wildest plot armor too. Crinoids survived several extinctions, including the infamous Permian Triassic, which realistically should have been the end of them. It also turns out the same ocean warming that destroys coral has zero effect on a feather star. In fact, science says they actually regenerate faster when the heat gets raised. This forgotten feather duster was around before us, and best believe they'll be here long after. And yeah, their arms can regenerate, and some can have up to 150 on standby, which they need because the feather star also has a lot of groupies.
Like, I would see that and think that's like some type of seaweed or some type of plant down there, and that motherfucker just start. Nigga, that'll scare the hell out of me. And that's beautiful, look at that. But if it start coming towards me, I'm shitting. Now that I shitted, I done let all this seasoning out. Now a shark or something finna get me. Fuck. We can't compete with the ocean.
But in this case, the star's the one getting screwed. There are animals whose entire personality is mooching off a feather star, and they even evolved to have the exact same color. Once one of these ride-alongs find their feather, they feed on it, either by chewing on its infinite food glitch in the form of arms, or by feeding on its feces. It's a muse, fresh out the pages of Dr. Seuss, with relationships almost as toxic as his marriage. If you know, you know. One fish, two fish, dead fish, new fish. Except we're not talking about fish, and I will not be elaborating further. But the feather star doesn't have it nearly as bad as a sea cucumber.
Sea dick. That's nasty as hell. The sea weenie. Sea weenie. Look how clear that water is, though. Damn. I want to go there. But that shit just shoot nasty shit out. It's a certain fish that swim in them motherfuckers, like right in their booty hole, and just hide for shelter. I hate to be one of them.
They look like what they eat. It's a bottom feeder in every sense of the word, a detrivore living off the dead and decaying. They use tentacles to shovel sediment into their system, where they digest anything organic and eject the rest. Which means the sand is actually cleaner coming out than going in. By recycling all the organic nastiness no one else will, sea cucumbers help prevent the same algae blooms.
Like, they get the most raped out of sorry YouTube, the most out of all fish. Like, dead ass. It be big fish running from other fish. Like, oh shit. Running their booty hole. And they just like, this is the third time today. Stop feeding. Yay.
That can suffocate fish. Not to mention, their bowel bricks help seagrass grow and even contains calcium carbonate, which not only builds the skeleton of coral, it even helps reverse ocean acidification. Mind you, a group of sea cucumbers is called a pickle, and a reef's worth of pickles can produce up to 70,000 tons of poop a year, and it's estimated the combined cucumbers on Heron Island release 5 Eiffel Towers worth of product. And yet, with all they get back to the community, some decide that's not enough, with some like the pearlfish using the cucumber as a personal panic route by forcing their way through the squishy's poop chute. The same brown eye they breathe through, and it's not just one squatter they have to deal with. One cucumber can have 15 pearlfish packing.
15? You think this nigga full? Like, oh, he ain't missing no meal, he don't need nothing. Move on to the next cucumber. He filled up with fish in his ass. He got fish in his booty. And you think he full. No, it's a whole family of fish in there. And how they get in there? The back. And he can't tighten it up to where no more. It's loosed. It's over with.
It's prostate. I mean, what's he gonna do about it? He ain't got no hands. What they do have are teeth. Yeah, that's not its mouth. The other form of self-defense involves violently ejecting the bowels out of the cloaca and respawning the organs they sacrifice in a spectacle called visceral regeneration. But they can be trigger happy. Some cucumbers butt confetti themselves if you pick them up too fast. Oh, also, sea cucumbers aren't terminally grounded. Some can fill themselves up with water and fly through the water column, covering almost 60 miles in a day. The headless chicken evolved water wings to take flying literally. Probably the closest to cute a sea cucumber's capable of. Or at least it would be if I didn't also just remember sea pigs are a thing. But none of that changes the
Pigs?
fact that sea cucumbers get violated so regularly that nature had the spike stripe their sinkhole down south, which the sea urchin somehow decided it wanted for its mouth. The sea urchin's teeth are self-sharpening, and they use it to scrape algae from rocks. Without them, that algae...
Look at all of this shit created, though. And it's like, you can see certain shit that was created to clean the ocean, certain shit was made to hunt, certain shit was made to just whatever the fuck it was made for. Certain was made for electricity. Certain was made for just knowledge. You know, like, you can see the difference in all these. Not necessarily these ones, but these are the ones that just bottom feeder. Like, they just eat algae and shit off the ground. Like, they just like the vacuums and shit. The maids. That shit crazy, bro.
You would smother coral and kill it, along with anything that depends on it. Which is surprising, because most would swear sea urchins only exist to f with the natural order. Imagine being so universally hated, you give clout to other animals just by them murking you. Whether you have the pretty privilege of an otter or the personality of a wolffish, you can make an honest name for yourself off clapping urchins for a living. It seems no one likes a sea urchin, but what if I showed you what's beneath the spines?
Dookie booty holes, scary teeth bubbles.
That is a sea urchin skeleton, also referred to as a test, and let it be known the test has failed, I still feel nothing. Well, I do feel pity, because many suffer from underwater alopecia, where a parasite can cause their spines to fall out, and as someone who's a few follicles away from a first-class flight to Turkey, that's tough. But sea urchins don't get smacked by life and just take it. They have one of the most unhinged forms of self-defense.
That's good.
They'll eject their jaws and launch them like a projectile.
Every time you take a bite.
Pedicelaria are tiny, wrench-like pinchers that scientists thought were parasites because they can fully move on their own. Instead, some urchins release a cloud of these mobile jaws that can hold in on a predator and release venom as they penetrate past the skin.
Get out of there.
This spike ball releases hundreds of tiny, self-functioning jaws laden with toxins, which is a lot better than being a cucumber blowing your own back out. Echinoderms are aliens that missed their return flight and have been figuring out life ever since, and without them, the ocean would be a nastier, poopier, more acidic, lower pH place. So the real horror movie would be the world without them. And on that note, that's going to do it for this video. Drink water, hug your mother, don't touch starfish, they can't consent. Tell your father you love him, and I'ma see y'all in the next one.
Grannies. So remember, if you see a starfish, don't touch that motherfucker because it's gonna give you some poison and sap your ass and you might not survive. Grannies. But that's gonna be the end of this video, man. I appreciate y'all watching this video with me. Like, comment, subscribe, man. Turn your post notifications on. Keep God in your life. Stay safe. If you out here doing some crazy shit, stay safe, nigga. Stay dangerous. Keep God in your life and invest that money that you rocking up. Invest it in something, nigga, for yourself and for your family. Peace.